What's going on, guys? It's J-Ho bringing you a brand new video, and today Game Informer dropped another article, and this one was pretty big. There's a bunch of new information within it on their experience traveling to Bungie Studios and getting to play Rise of Iron early. So they shared some of the new stuff and some of their experiences within this new article. So there's a bunch of new information, so let's get straight into it. So first off, they talk about Felon Peak, the new social space, and they talk a little bit more about the vendors as well at Felwinter Peak. So we did get a glimpse of Felwinter Peak previously in the previous article that they posted a few days ago, but this time they talk a little bit more about some of the vendors. So Lord Saladin, one of the vendors that is going to be there permanently instead of being at the tower, he's going to be at Felwinter Peak, which makes sense, and he's going to be selling some iron engrams within his inventory. And these engrams will turn into year 1 and year 2 armor pieces. So it just says armor pieces, but I'm guessing it's going to be Iron Banner specific armor pieces. So you can get some of those old year 1 Iron Banner armor pieces if you didn't play in year 1, or you didn't get them, or you didn't keep it. Now is an opportunity to get some of the old looking pieces of armor. Another vendor that's going to have some year 1 Iron Banner class items is Shiro 4, which is Cade's friend. So he's another new vendor that's going to be in Felwinter Peak. And he also has some new bounties that you can do and acquire, and they relate to some of the new PvE content within Rise of Iron as well. Next up, they talk about new emotes that are coming to Eververse, so that's going to be pretty exciting. There's no specifics on what emotes are coming yet, but that's really exciting to hear. Emotes were definitely a very fun addition to the game. And on top of that, Eververse is also going to be selling some artifacts now. So these artifacts are going to be a little bit different from your typical artifacts, just because they don't give you any type of power like some of these new Iron Lord artifacts are going to be providing. But some of these artifacts have some cool perks that allow you to change like your camera filters and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Some aesthetic artifacts as well are coming to Eververse. And then so coming with this expansion, we're going to be getting a bunch of new weapons and armor, just like we usually do whenever a new expansion comes out for Destiny. And what they did mention though is that Bungie did not talk about adding additional vault space while they were there. So that's kind of interesting. That's probably the only piece of bad news to come out of this article. So no addition of vault space as of right now. They might change it though, we're not sure. So it's not fully confirmed yet, so Bungie could be adding more vault space, we're not sure yet. But as of right now, it sounds like they're not going to be adding some vault space, so that kind of sucks. But hopefully they change their minds, because some people do like to carry over some of their older weapons, even if they don't use it going into a new expansion. So hopefully they do add more vault space. And then next up, they briefly talked about Radiant Treasure. So this is pretty much similar to the Sterling Treasure that we have in the game right now that was added in the April update. And in this, you can gain some visual customizations. And I'm guessing those are those ornament things that they're introducing in this expansion. So there are some visual customizations for some exotic weapons that they mention, such as Zalo Supercell, Invective, Telesto, Mida Multitool, and the new Kostov Exotic, so that's pretty cool. So moving on to PvE, there's going to be new public events first of all in the new Patrol Zone in the Plagueland, so that's pretty exciting. And it pretty much follows the theme of the new enemy, the Fallen Splicers. So one of them that they shared was they fought against a Splicer Walker tank. And then another one, they had the Hive ambushing some Devil Splicers or Fallen Splicers. So we got some new public events to go along with the new theme of the new enemies. And then next up, they talked about the Gjallarhorn quest line. So this is to get the original version of the Gjallarhorn, not the Iron Gjallarhorn that you get from pre-ordering. But this is the original Gjallarhorn in its year 3 form. So there's going to be a quest line to do that. And he recommends that you do this quest line even if you get the Iron Gjallarhorn from pre-ordering, because it's a lot of fun. We get to experience some PvE missions on some of the PvP maps like we did back in some of the previous PvE missions from the last expansions. So we're going to get to be on Bannerfall, we're going to get to be on Skyshock. So we get to experience some of those PvP maps a little bit differently. And then moving on, they finally announced the name for the new strike, and this one is going to be called Wretched Eye. And there's a lot of replayability with this strike, just because there's different pathways that you can take each time you play the strike. So it's going to be different, and this is really good. It makes strikes a lot more replayable and a lot more fun because there's different variants of it. So I like that there's a lot of variations to strikes, so it doesn't get as boring as quickly. And then on the topic of strikes, they also talked about skeleton keys. So skeleton keys is a new item that they're adding in with this expansion. And basically, you can hold up to 5 of these keys in your inventory at once. And what these keys do is they allow you to get a strike-specific loot at the end of a strike. So there's going to be a chest that you can open up at the end of each strike that you play. And if you have a skeleton key, you can open it up and it will guarantee you that strike specific loot. So that's pretty good. You basically don't have to rely on RNG anymore. All you need to do is acquire some of these skeleton keys, and I believe they drop randomly each time you do a nightfall or play in a strike playlist. So they drop randomly just by doing strikes in general, I guess those high level strikes specifically. And once you acquire some, you can then use them to open up some chests at the end of strikes and get that strike specific loot. And then lastly for PvE, we got some new information on the new mode or the new arena, Archon's Forge, in the Plagueland. So it's going to be similar to Court of Oryx, they said, and it also had a feel of like Gears of War Horde mode. So if you played Gears of War, you know what it might feel like just because there's waves of enemies, and then I believe it ends in a big boss battle or boss fight. So that's pretty cool, a new PvE event or a new mode. And then they also mention that this is a way that we can earn some max light level class items, so that's pretty exciting as well. And then lastly, they mentioned a few things about a PvP, so we got some information on the new game mode, Supremacy. So Supremacy is pretty much like Kill Confirmed from Call of Duty. So if you ever play Call of Duty and you played the game mode Kill Confirmed, it's pretty much exactly like that based off what they described it to be. So whenever you kill an enemy, they would drop something. So in this mode, it's going to be like a crest. And in order to score a point for your team, you need to go pick it up. So you don't get points just by killing people. You actually need to pick up these crests that drop when you kill enemies. And that's how you score points for your team. And also you can deny points by collecting fallen teammates' crests before your opponent does as well. So this is going to be the new game mode coming to PvP, as well as the first game mode for the next Iron Banner once the expansion comes out. So this is going to be the new game mode, Supremacy. And then they briefly talked about Trials of Osiris. So Trials of Osiris is going to be going away for a little bit once Rise of Iron comes out, just like it did when Taken King came out. So that's going to give us some time to level up and gear up before Trials comes back. And so I'm not sure how long. They didn't say exactly how long it's going to be. I'm sure it's not going to be a few weeks. It's probably going to be maybe a week or two at the most, I'm guessing. And then they talked about some of the new Trials weapons and armor. So there's going to be a bunch of new weapons, bunch of new armor, and some of these armors are looking pretty good. Some of the screenshots that we saw already look pretty cool. And then they say that the ornaments for some of these Trials armor can only be attained by going flawless and getting it from the lighthouse chest. So that's going to be pretty cool. You can get some ornaments to customize your armor only if you go flawless. So that's really good if you go flawless. And then also for the Wrath of the Machine raid ornaments, it's going to be coming from the challenge mode chests as well. So in order to get some of these ornaments, you need to complete some of the hardest aspects of these game modes. So that's pretty exciting to hear as well. So that's pretty much all the news that I wanted to cover from this article. If you guys want to go check out the article yourselves, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. There's going to be more information though on PvP and all this Crucible stuff going into Gamescom when Bungie's going to be there to reveal some more information. So that's going to be exciting. I can't wait for that. And that's about it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace!